Your powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Here's something that I hope will continue. I really do. And it's probably far too long in coming because it should have been basically implemented, when he first brought it out, was it 2013, 2014? He first announced it and the women bucked against 7 years ago. And now that they have power and now they're being called to the carpet, I think women are, black women are actually starting to embrace it, probably as an olive branch to black men, because they have to show and prove, especially for young black men. But anyway, Baton Rouge Mayor Parish President launches chapter of My Brother's Keeper to help young men reach full potential. Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome announced Thursday the launch of the Baton Rouge chapter of My Brother's Keeper. MBK will exist as a partnership with the Office of Community Development and Safe, Hopeful, Healthy branch. The My Brother's Keepers Alliance is an initiative from President Barack Obama, which aims to address opportunity gaps facing boys and young men of color with the goal of ensuring all youth can reach their full potential. It is incumbent upon us to take the necessary actions to lay the foundation for a community of peace, prosperity, and progress for every single person in East Baton Rouge Parish. Now more than ever, our community is calling upon us to come together to address the systemic opportunity gaps currently facing our black boys, said Mayor Broome. Addressing these issues will foster the environment in which our youth can reach their full potential. This is essential for the prosperity of Baton Rouge. MBK is rooted in addressing 6 key milestones which have been identified as predictive factors of success for young men of color. Milestones include getting a healthy start at entering school ready to learn, reading a grade level by 3rd grade, not 8th grade, 3rd grade, graduating high school ready for college or careers, completing post-secondary education or training, successfully entering the workforce, keeping youth on track. Okay, that sounds like it should be in Baltimore. And we should get on the Baltimore mayor's ass, who's a black female, to do the same thing. But that's an aside. Also, Chicago, where the mayor and the school board and most of the city government is black female. I'm not sure if there's a My Brother's Keeper branch in Chicago, but there should be. But I think this is a result of, number one, the elections, and number two, black men actually taking their plight and the plight of their boys seriously and insisting that if it doesn't work for us, it doesn't work for anybody. And the sisters know that we're going to pull our support from them if we don't get some kind of results. And basically, the black women are on the clock. The black women in leadership are on the clock. And either they come through and do something for us or they don't. Okay? Continuing, because I feel a rant coming on. My Brother's Keeper Baton Rouge work is about securing transformative outcomes for our boys and young men of color living in Baton Rouge, said Luke St. John McKnight, strategic lead for My Brother's Keeper, Baton Rouge. We're thrilled to be supporting the mayor's office on this important initiative. Mayor Broome truly understands ameliorating barriers of opportunity leads to a better Baton Rouge as a whole for all to enjoy. This collaboration will work to improve opportunity and outcomes for young people by addressing persistent inequities to create and foster a more inclusive economy and community in East Baton Rouge Parish. You know what? I think I'm going to put this on my Black Pill Gnostic channel because I know that this rant may become controversial. But it's about goddamn time. Now, them heifers could have done this shit 7 years ago. And a lot of young men, a lot of black boys, especially the black boys that we talked about that are listed as only 10% reading at grade level in 8th grade. That shit wouldn't happen if they had embraced what Barack Obama said they tried to do basically Barack Obama is no fan of black men, okay, no matter what he says. Okay, but at least he tried to do something. At least he tried. And he wilted in the face of black women coming at this program. In fact, I was reading something, I was just scanning a book, and I might do parts of this book about black sexual politics. And that was actually written in the doggone 70s and 80s. And the problem that they had in black sexual politics in the United States was this notion of black woman first. So this idea of black woman first, even though we think that it's new, it's not. This stuff has been around for goddamn 50 years. And basically this black woman first notion is basically throwing a wrecking ball through the black community. And it's just now starting to be addressed because black men have gotten tired of it, and they're getting ready to, well, really they mostly already have, you know, even though they haven't said it. It's been a silent protest amongst the Gen X and the millennials. And now with the Zs, they're not even silent about it anymore because the credit card of Fs are gone and they have no Fs to give, okay? They have no Fs to give. But this could have been addressed years ago. And it took an election where black men stood up on their, you know, actually got up off their backs, got off their behinds and stood up on their feet and yelled, you know, even though the vast majority of them still voted for Biden, they said, this is not going to happen, okay? You're going to hear us, and either we are all part of the black community or we're not. Either men and boys are part of this black community or there won't be one. And I've gotten heat, you know, from my pro-black and my conscious community folks about my stance. And I said this on a panel just a couple days ago. Either the damn black community works for everybody or it doesn't work for anybody. Either the damn black community works for men and boys or it doesn't need to be here. And I said it. We just looked at Dante, I can't remember his last name, in Minnesota. His mother's white. Okay, that's a trend. That's already a trend that's already happening. Instead of the typical black mother that would be on there talking about her black son being killed by police, it was a white mother talking about her black son being killed by police, a typical white mother. That if you change the color, they look almost exactly the same. All you gotta do is change the shade of skin. Okay, overweight, older, overweight, basically the same. People say that, well, you downgrade when you get a white woman. No, you don't. You get the same woman, just better treatment. Because I trust and believe if this had been white boys that were reading at 8th grade level and needed help and needed an initiative, white women would have been the first one out there to actually advocate for their boys, okay? But the only reason black women are actually advocating for their boys is because they have to, because they're embarrassed. And they need to be embarrassed. It takes white men, a white organization like the Brookings, for the last 5-6 years, they've been advocating for the underserved black men and boys. The last 5-6 years. I have not seen one black female publication advocating for black men and boys. In fact, all I've seen is the opposite. And all they say is that black men have to save their own. In other words, black men, you're on your own. It's your fault that your boys are failing. It's your fault that the community's failing. It's always your fault. While they chase their own agenda. They chase behind organizations like Black Lives Matter, which is a female-first agenda that raked in $10 billion. Imagine what $10 billion would have done toward the education of black boys. You have women sitting on entire school boards in black cities that look at their boys that are devastated. Look at Baltimore. Half the black schools are so bad that to fail puts you in the middle. And I bet you most of the people that are failing are not female. I bet you they're boys. And they wonder how come the neighborhood's always devastated. It's an embarrassment about the Baltimore City school system and the plight of black boys in Baltimore. And guess what? All you train them to do is go out there and sell drugs. That's probably what you really want. You basically should have, if you want them to go out and sell drugs, you probably should give them a vocational training, okay, how to be a drug dealer. Because that's all you want them to be. You're not teaching them nothing. You should start a class, Corner Boy 101, in Chicago and in Baltimore, and teach them how to at least a trade. If they're gonna practice the drug trade, at least teach them how to manage their money, how to push their product, give them some kind of sales training. If you're gonna do it, if you really want them to do it, you really want Chicago or black boys to be your drug traffickers, at least teach them how. If that's what you want them to do as a trade. If not, you need to do your doggone job. And I wish it were white men that were over these school boards. Then it could be understandable. They don't want any kind of competition. But guess what you have? You have black women in charge. And guess what? They don't want any competition either. They want black men subservient. And then either they're valuable for labor or sex, or they're pushed out onto the street. Either you're a ConcuServe, as Dr. Johnson, the great T.S. Johnson actually puts it, or you're nothing. Or you're nothing in this society. And the tragic thing is that all black men in America know it. Either you got a job or you got a penis. If you don't have either one of those, then you're nothing in the black society. And every black man, every black boy knows it growing up. If you ain't cute and you can't blow out her back, you better have a good job. Otherwise, you're worthless in black society. That's how come they get so pissed off about high value men. Even though they desire it, they're actually pissed that there's some men at some level that they have to bow down to. They're not mad because they make money. They're not mad that they can provide a lifestyle. They're pissed off because they're not in control, that they have to take a step back and be supportive of black men. That's the only reason that they hate Kevin Samuels and the high value man. So the average man, they want to talk shit, that you don't have a right to ask for anything. You don't have a right to have standards. But you know what? I said this, and I had said this to all my PhDs. I'm glad that black women are in power. Listen to me carefully. I'm glad that they're in power, because now this can come to an end. Either you're going to put up or you're going to shut up. Either you're going to piss or you're going to get off the doggone pot. There are no excuses. You're in power. Your mayors, your school board chiefs, school board members, your congressmen. You got your own girl that's a vice president in the White House. You have access to power. You're in power. Now you got to use it. Now either you use the power for everybody or you use it for yourself. But at least black men will know which side that you're on. I really believe that you're not on our side. I really do. I really believe that you don't mean us any good. But now you have to prove that you're down for the black community, or what's left of it. Because my fervent belief that most of you ain't. Most of you black female first, which is fine. But at least we can get rid of that lie that you always tell us that it's against racism and this is supposed to be for the black community. And there's nothing you can do because you don't have the means or the power to do anything. It's all the black men's fault. Now, today, it's your fault. You're in charge today. You're in charge. And hopefully this mayor has gotten the message that she got to do something. Even though my brother's keeper is a small token. My brother's keeper is nothing but a token. She's going to put a few $100,000, couple $100,000 into my brother's keeper so that black men will shut up. But it ain't enough, in my opinion. It's not enough. That's just a start. It ain't enough. The biggest college system in the country, which is the Cal State University system, right? 70% of your boys flunk out in the first goddamn year. And nobody says anything. And the black women that are in charge, the black women that are over administration, won't say a word because they don't care. It's the order of things. Those black boys aren't worth it. They'd rather put it into people of color. They'd rather get along and put it into people of color so they can keep their position, they can keep their money, just like Black Lives Matter. Black men are nothing but a damn stepping stone. If they're not a stepping stone, they're worthless. They'll cast them aside. But at least black men should know that, because I'm getting tired of black men mouthing the same disgusting talking points that their women talk about. And at least this will be a wake-up call for black men, so that you will know exactly what time it is and where you stand, especially with your woman, your so-called woman, because I have my doubts. But anyway, let me stop this in mid-sentence before it really gets ugly, because I'm kind of riled up. This thing about my brother's keepers kind of riled me up a little bit. And there may be a part two, because I'm not happy about this. I am not. Even though it's supposed to be a positive story, and it is a positive story, and don't get me wrong, I commend the sister for at least making the first step. I commend her for at least making the first step. But this is a symptom of what else is to come, right? And if black men don't get off their behind and make sure they call these doggone women to doggone carpet about their men and their boys, then you know what? We deserve to go down to the trash can of history. We do. If we don't stand up and actually demand our rights and our presence as human beings and citizens of this doggone country, even to our doggone women, then we deserve what we get. All right. Let me get off my soapbox. Let me push it back under the bed where it belongs. and say that this is a positive thing. We should get behind it. We should actually expand this to places like Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, Louisville, Kentucky, New Jersey, New York. Should be all over. Anywhere, Atlanta, Georgia. Keisha Bottoms, where you at? But with that, I'm going to get off this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. This is BGS out.